Over the past 12 years, I've worked with thousands of high-performing men who had it all: status, success, financial freedom, yet privately in their lives, inside their relationships, the relationships were falling apart. And the worst part is that they almost never saw this coming. They thought the divorce just came out of nowhere, or that her distance was just a phase. But the reality is this: they were actually unknowingly doing things that ended up slowly wrecking the relationship. So in this video right here, I'm gonna break down the 3 silent mistakes that destroy strong marriages. So stick around, because I also want to show you how you can avoid them by learning to lead your relationship the right way. So again, make sure you stick around to the end, because most men don't realize these mistakes until it's too late to fix them. So let's get started. Mistake number 1, not identifying the core fear that drives your reactions. What if the biggest problem in your marriage isn't her at all? Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but here's the thing. You can't lead a relationship you don't understand. And if you haven't uncovered the fear behind your reactions, that fear that is actually leading you in every argument or every shutdown, deep down, you're likely carrying an old unspoken fear. Maybe it's a fear of being rejected, a fear of not being enough, a fear of being betrayed, or losing control. That fear doesn't just show up, it takes over the moment things get tense. And when it does, you overcompensate. You shut down, you get sharp, you lash out, or you try to take control. But the second that you start to take action and name the fears that you have, you finally begin to see clearly. And clarity wins every time. So step back and question the story that you're telling yourself. Stay present instead of reacting from the past, and lead with clarity, not fear. But you can still sabotage the very connection you want without fixing this next mistake, even if you fixed mistake number 1. And that is not seeing how you're triggering the outcome you fear. That's mistake number 2. See, once you become aware of the fears driving your behavior, everything shifts, because you can actually stop reacting blindly and you can start creating the outcomes you actually want inside your relationship. See, but most guys still unconsciously push their wife away just to avoid being hurt by her. And in doing that, you actually create the very thing that you fear. So let me explain. When you pull back emotionally to avoid rejection, she feels rejected instead. Get it? See, when you withhold affection, she stops opening up. You try to control the situation, so she guards herself and pulls away. So as you can see, there's a clear pattern here. And it's that you need to take control of your fears and emotions, because they directly impact your relationship. So instead of clinging to fears like rejection, betrayal, or inadequacy, feeling not enough, here's what you need to start doing now. And it's going to be hard. It might even feel like death. You need to pause before reacting. Become curious instead of defensive, and communicate your fear with ownership, and visualize the outcome that you actually want. Where do you want to take this? And I've seen this play out time and time again with the guys that I've worked with over the last 12 years. Once they identify core fears and had the courage to face them, everything started shifting fast inside their marriages. Take Sean, for example. After joining our private community, he finally stopped running from the patterns that were wrecking his marriage, and he walked away more confident, more grounded, and he was actually able to rebuild his relationship without being ruled by fear ever again. And he's not the only one. There's dozens of guys just like you inside our community who've mastered and are currently mastering the emotions that were running the show behind the scenes, and they've stepped into the role of real leadership inside their marriages. So if you're ready to do the same inside your own relationship, you know what to do. Just click the link in the description to join us, and you can work with us one-on-one. Now, let's talk about the traps you've been reinforcing every single day that need to be fixed. Okay, mistake number 3. This is the one you've been waiting for. Not taking intentional actions that create the opposite outcome. So if you want a connection, create it. Stop waiting for this to appear. Leadership starts when you take full accountability for how you show up, and owning your part is often the simplest fix to most relationship problems. Studies show that marriages thrive when the man takes responsibility, not just for solving problems, but for leading with emotional clarity, because masculine leadership isn't about control. It's actually about creating a space where connection feels safe without fear running the show, like we talked about. So when you try to control too much, it's going to backfire. Your wife is going to feel emotionally unsafe, like she has to walk on eggshells. Don't do this, because she's going to start to feel isolated, misunderstood, and unseen, and you're not going to know what she's saying when she says this. And if you do this over time, that distance is going to become resentment. So many guys are in that situation. You might be there right now. You can reverse this. That's why it's so critical that you know the outcome that you're trying to create, and you lead toward that outcome intentionally by doing things like asking what she meant before you react, sharing what you're feeling without emotionally dumping on her, owning your fear instead of hiding behind pride and ego, and lead the energy in the room by going first emotionally. So look, you don't have to lose your edge to heal your marriage, brother. You just have to stop letting fear drive your decisions. And I know, because I've been there. So now that you know these 3 silent mistakes that wreck strong marriages, I need you to know that knowing isn't enough. It's how you respond that will determine your legacy as a man and a partner. So if you want to go deeper into how to rebuild emotional connection without losing yourself, without losing your edge, make sure to join the community by clicking the link inside the description. At Beyond Driven, we've been able to help over 5,000 men go from feeling disrespected or misunderstood to finally gaining clarity to change outcomes for the better. Inside, you'll also get all the practical systems that work without needing therapy. All right, thanks for watching. God bless. We'll see you next time.